We have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
You want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it. If I thought there was something wrong, I'd go maybe to the FBI. If I thought there was something wrong.
If you thought there was.
Okay, let's just note that he just maybe Norway. Norway. All right, now let's take a different example. Let's say he's running against Joe Biden, and Iran gives stolen information from Donald Trump's campaign to Joe Biden. And Biden says, well, there's nothing wrong with looking at it, just because it's coming from Iran. Or Venezuela steals information and gives it to Gillibrand, whoever Trump is running against, right? Do you know what would happen to Donald Trump's orange head? They took information from Iran or Venezuela, right? So go. When he says, I would never work with the FBI. No. I mean, how much clearer is it? Of course he never gonna. You know who never cooperates with law enforcement?
Criminals.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And finally, I want to give you the critique that Laura Ingraham had in regard to the interview overall. Fox News host Laura Ingraham demanded to know who in the Trump administration had approved the interview. Trump being put in that situation is beyond me, and suggested that Trump was playing with Stephanopoulos.
Wait. If he was playing with Stephanopoulos, why do you mind the interview? Then
Great point.
Aren't you happy about the interview?
Then
You're
why-
happy
then it's
that
not a
Stephanopoulos
setup.
Came in so Trump could play with him. But you're not happy about the interview. That's why you said,
Yes.
who set that up? Are you guys crazy?
Totally.
And so, number one, get your story straight, because you said two different things there. Number two, why doesn't Laura Ingraham want the president to ever do an interview? Because she knows he's an idiot.
Yes, that's the best point. That's why I chose that quote, because it's like, who allowed this to happen? Who allowed this guy to talk to the press? This is a terrible idea.
Who would be so stupid enough to put Donald Trump in front of a microphone? The guy's a total moron. He'll obviously admit his criminality immediately. So even they know. Rick Santorum also said in that interview, he says he tends to sort of ramble and talk about things more loosely. Okay, they know he's an idiot. The only people who haven't figured it out is MAGA, okay? So all the Republican senators and congressmen, except for a couple, totally know that the president's an idiot, but they don't want to get primaried. Now look at what happened to Justin Amash. He says he's in favor of impeachment. Amash is a massive right-winger, okay? He's not anywhere near the middle, let alone the left, on every issue. So it's not like he changed his mind and he instantly became a liberal. No, he's still one of the most right-wing guys in Congress. His no-name primary opponent is now up by 16 points. He was in a deeply safe district. So that's what happens when you oppose the president. Why? And that's why all the congressmen and the senators and all these pundits are slavishly behind Donald Trump. Oh, yes, Donald Trump, even though they know he's a total idiot and a total criminal.
Okay, let's start.
Today, Donald Trump backtracked, sort of. You say backtrack because that's what he's trying to do, but he backtracked to some extent on his comments made earlier this week that he would gladly accept help from foreign actors in the next election. That was kind of a bad move constitutionally, and so today he said this.
You have to look at it, because if you don't look at it, you're not going to know if it's bad. How are you going to know if it's bad? But of course you give it to the FBI or report it to the Attorney General or somebody like that. But of course you do that. You couldn't have that happen with our country, and everybody understands that. And I thought it was made clear. In fact, I actually said at the beginning, I think I said I'd do both. But how are you going to, if you don't hear what it is, you're not going to know what it is. I mean, how can you report something that you don't know?
Listen to it.
So, Mr. President,
No, they say, oh, he would accept it. Well, if I don't listen, you're not going to know. Now, if I thought anything was incorrect or badly stated, I'd report it to the Attorney General, the FBI.
Okay, so there's a lot of
That's
issues
so
with that,
funny.
but let's just jump right out by saying that what he is talking about is like, maybe you won't, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Is clearly illegal. That's coming from people who know, including the head of the FEC that put out a statement saying, let me make something 100% clear to the American public and anyone running for public office. It is illegal for any person to solicit, accept, or receive anything of value from a foreign national in connection with a U.S. election. This is is not a novel concept. Electoral intervention from foreign governments has been considered unacceptable since the beginning of our nation. Our founding fathers sounded the alarm about foreign interference, intrigue, and influence. They knew that when foreign governments seek to influence American politics, it is always to advance their own interests, not America's. Anyone who solicits or accepts foreign assistance risks being on the wrong end of a federal investigation. Any political campaign that receives an offer of a prohibited donation from a foreign source should report that offer to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I apologize, that was very small font that I was reading on my paper. But yeah, it's illegal.
Okay, the part I want to emphasize is it is illegal for any person to solicit, accept, or receive anything of value from a foreign national in connection with a U.S. election. So the very act of receiving and accepting the information, what Trump calls, I'm just going to look at it. I'm just going to look at it to see what kind of oppo research they have that I could later use against my opponent. That is in itself illegal.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, I looked at it and see if it was going to be something illegal, and then I decided whether I was going to take an illegal action or not. No, just simply any government, Russia, Israel, Canada, China, coming and saying, would you like to receive information about your opponent? If you say yes and look at that information, you have committed a very serious crime. And so, look, your best case scenario for Donald Trump, if you're an advocate of his, is that the president is so stupid that he can't possibly understand the law, even if it was explained to him. And it has not been explained to him over and over and over again. And every time he's like, well, you know, well, who wouldn't look at it? I mean, it's against my opponent. It's good to me. It's good for me. It's bad for America. It totally undermines the country. And it's a felony under U.S. law, and you should go to prison for it. But it's good for me, so why wouldn't I do it? So your best case scenario is he's just a child and can't understand the most simple concepts. By the way, try that in your trial, see how that goes. Well, you know, Your Honor, I'm an idiot. And so, I mean, the cops told me the law 7 different times, and I you know, robbed the bank anyway.
No.
And I didn't understand that I couldn't bring a gun to the robbery, and the money they were giving me wasn't free. When I put the gun to the guy's head, I thought it was going to be fine. I didn't get it. Try that, see how it works out for you. But for Trump, it's worked out his whole life.
There's such a slapstick quality about this presidency.
What the fuck was that? 2 ropes. Okay, we got this. Not so far, so good. No. That's a PB, I think. $51,499.51.